The world is unfair. Our world is unfair. Well, I know it well. Since I was a student in primary schools, in secondary school, you see, my classmates, some of them were so bright, so brilliant. It seems that they didn't need time to study, and they just a few minutes and they can remember everything. It seems to me, in their heart, in their head, in their brain. And I took nights and days, and I could not remember it well. So you see, it's unfair. It's unfair. And then some people, maybe my friends or my colleagues or my co-workers, oh, they are so rich. It seems that they have much money to spend, by this, by that. Not because of they themselves, because they have good parents, they have rich parents. So you see, it is unfair. The world is unfair. Our world is unfair. But today's gospel, it may hurt us the most, is not to discover that our world is unfair. We discover that it reveals us that this unfairness comes from God Himself. Wow! It is painful. It is painful. It is bitter. How come? How come he just gives that 5 talents and that 2 talents and that 1 talent? How come he could maybe give everybody 5, have everybody 2, have everybody 1, and that is fair? What's the point is here? How come he does so? It is hard to understand. Different. And then, because of this, we come to understand better the third servant. How come he thinks in this way? His way of thinking. It's very clear that he compares himself with the other 2 servants, with the others who has received 5, one received 2, and then I just 1. So I have the least. I have the least. It's not so good. And you know, there's one saying. I'm not sure whether there's a saying in English, but in Chinese, the meaning is attitude determines altitude. Attitude determines altitude. So, what you think, it determines how you act. So we can know what is inside this third servant. He says to the master, "Master, I knew you were a demanding person, harvesting where you did not plant and gathering where you did not scatter." The problem is he makes comparison with the others. My brothers and sisters, the gospel is not just something to deal with the 3 servants. It deals with us. It tells something, some truth in us. We always compare ourselves with the others, and we find what we get, what we have, is the least, is unfair. How come the others are better than I, are brighter than I, are richer than I? How come it is unfair? So, we are not happy. And we complain, even to God. He is unfair. And then, our attitude determines our altitude. And we find this God to be a demanding God. Brothers and sisters, please, do not compare ourselves with the others. Let us compare with God's love. With God's love, let us remember, even 1 talent is sheer grace. It's not something that we are entitled to receive. No, 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 no. It is out of His generosity. It's out of His generosity. The commentators tell us that one talent, even one talent, because talent nowadays we use it to represent maybe some people are good in intelligence, some are very talented in drawing and arts, but ultimately it is a form of it's a kind of money, talent, talentum. It is a measurement of money. It's one, according to many commentators, it represents a laborer's wage for 1 year, 1 year's wage, salaries. So it's much. Even one talent is so much. None of us is entitled to get it. It is out of the Master's generosity. We may say, oh, Bishop, you say so, but he is very brighter than I. Maybe he is brighter than you, but you know what? You are healthier than him. Who knows? Or maybe, oh, he is healthier than I. Well, maybe your family is better than his. Huh? Who knows? His family is better. You don't know, Bishop. Maybe, but maybe you get some talent in art, in picture, in painting. Who knows? Every one of us has our talents from God. We should not compare ourselves with the others, because in this way, we won't go far, but just to the valley of bitterness. We have to always remember that out of His generosity, we are His servants. So, what we need to do is to be thankful. How do we know that we have a thankful heart? To serve for the others. You see, in the first reading is from the book of Proverbs. It's about a worthy wife. Maybe every husband here would like to have such a wife. And then also on the other side, the wives would like to have a husband like this. Who knows? But let us pay attention to what this worthy wife does. She uses her talents for the good of the families, for the good of her husband, for the good of her children, for the good of her relatives, not for herself. So this is what our talents should use for the others, not for ourselves. And in this way, we would have a fruitful life. And we would one day hear the Lord, the Master, tells us, good and faithful servant, come and share your Master's joy. My brothers and sisters, this is what we have to expect, what we have to desire, what we have to look for, to look forward. My good and faithful servants, come and share your Master's joy. We are good. We are His good and faithful servant. This morning, what did you do once when you woke up? What did you do? One of the first things that you did is looking at the mirror, right? Every one of us, we do so every day. Though we usually don't pay attention. So we look at the mirror. I recommend you, I ask you, when you look at the mirror and see yourself, talk to yourself, affirm this: I am good. I am good because I am God's child. I am His beloved daughter. I am His beloved son. He has given me enough talent. You see, in the first one of the first verses, it says, He gave their talents according to their ability. So don't compare with the others, but just be thankful with what we have. And we are good, waiting, looking forward to listen to one day to His voice for every one of us. My good and faithful servant, come and share your master's joy. From today's gospel, what is today's gospel? Luke or Mark? Matthew. So don't believe the bishop always. Believe God, believe in God. It's Matthew. Which chapter? 25. 25. Which verse? 21. I check it for you because I'm good. 25, 21. My good and faithful servant, come and share your master's joy. Wow, this is good. This is, we have to bear it in mind. So, I recommend you to repeat it and to bear it in mind. My good and faithful servant, come and share your master's joy. Matthew 25, 21. Okay, I repeat it many times. Now, you will repeat it for me, okay? Let us come. No. It's what? Oh, yes. My good and faithful servant, come and share your master's joy. Matthew 25, 21. Yes. Let us pause a while in silence, and pay attention to His voice. And then one day, He will say to us, my good and faithful servants, come and share your master's joy. What we are going to respond?